at some point, and for most people, it happened so gradually, they couldn't tell you exactly when. You started seeing your life through the lens of how it would look to someone else. Not experiencing the moment, documenting it, not feeling proud of something you did, thinking about how to caption it, not processing an emotion, figuring out how to say it in a way that sounds like something worth saying. And if you step back from that for a second, if you actually look at it, it's one of the stranger things that has ever happened to a generation of people. Here is what nobody told you when you signed up for all of it. Social media was not designed to connect you. It was designed to keep you on the platform. And the most effective way to keep you on the platform is to make you feel something. Preferably, something that keeps you coming back. Inadequacy works well. Comparison works extremely well. The specific anxiety of wondering how you are perceived, that one works best of all. Because if you are never quite sure how you are coming across, you keep checking. And every check is another data point, another moment of measuring yourself against something that was never designed to give you an accurate measurement. Let's talk about what comparison actually does to identity. Your sense of who you are is not formed in isolation. It's formed in relation to other people. The feedback you get, the responses you receive, the way people react to you when you show up as yourself. That's always been true. That's how humans have worked for thousands of years. But the social media version of that is distorted in a specific and damaging way. You are not comparing yourself to the people around you, the people who have similar resources, similar context, similar constraints to your own. You are comparing yourself to a curated highlight reel of thousands of people across the world, filtered and edited and selected specifically for its ability to generate a response, the best version of everyone else, against the unfiltered reality of your own life. And your brain doesn't know how to correct for that. It just takes the comparison at face value and says, you are behind, you are less, you are not doing it right. There is a specific mechanism here that's worth naming. It's called social comparison theory. And it's not new. Leon Festinger described it in 1954. Humans compared themselves to others to evaluate their own opinions and abilities. The problem is that in 1954, the others were the people in your town, your actual peers, people operating in roughly the same conditions as you. Now, the others are everyone, everywhere, all at once, all the time, and all of them showing you the version of themselves they decided was worth showing. But the comparison isn't even the deepest problem. The deeper problem is what happens to your sense of self when you spend years performing one, because social media doesn't just show you other people. It asks something of you. It asks you to have a persona, a consistent, legible, presentable version of yourself that can be packaged and shared and responded to. And at first, that feels fine. You're just sharing things. But slowly, the line between who you are and who you are online starts to blur. You start to notice that you'd make different choices depending on whether they will translate well. You go to the place that photographs better, rather than the one you would actually enjoy more. You say the version of the thing that sounds better out loud, rather than the messier, truer version. You share the emotion after you have processed it into something palatable, not while you are in it, when it's raw and real, and doesn't have a caption yet. And over time, the performed version starts to feel more real than the actual one. It is something worth sitting with. When was the last time you did something and didn't think about whether to share it? When was the last time you had a feeling that stayed completely private? Not documented, not processed into language for an audience, just felt and then gone. When was the last time you formed an opinion before seeing what everyone else thought first? This sound like small things, but what they add up to is significant. Your internal experience, your actual inner life, starts to be shaped by the external performance of it. You stop knowing what you think until you have seen how it lands. You stop trusting your own reactions until they have been validated by a number. And the self, the actual interior, private self, quietly starts to erode. And then there is the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't show you everything. It shows you the things you respond to, which means it builds a world around you, made entirely of the things that make you feel a certain way. If you engage with content that makes you feel inadequate, because you clicked, because you lingered, because it affected you, it shows you more of it. If you engage with content that makes you angry, more of that. If you engage with content from a specific kind of person, who represents a specific kind of life, it fills your feed with that life until it starts to feel like the standard. The algorithm is not neutral. It's actively curating a version of reality around your psychological triggers, and you are living inside that curation, as if it's just the world. So what do you actually do with this? Not delete everything, not a dramatic detox. Those tend to last about 4 days before the habit reasserts itself. Something more sustainable. First, notice when you are performing versus living. The moment before you take a photo, the moment before you share something, ask, am I doing this because I want to, or because I want to be seen doing it? Neither answer is wrong, but knowing the difference matters, because if you only live the version of your life that's worth showing, then you start quietly disappearing from the rest of it. Second, protect the unwitnessed parts of your life. Some things don't need an audience. The book you read that nobody needs to know you read. The walk you took that you didn't document. The conversation that was just between two people and stayed there. The unshared experience is not wasted. It's actually more yours than the shared one. Because the moment you share something, part of your relationship to it changes. You start to see it through the eyes of whoever might respond to it. Keep some things for yourself, not as secrecy, as privacy, as proof that your life is happening whether or not anyone is watching. And third, when you notice you are comparing, ask what you are actually comparing. You are comparing your interior to someone else's exterior. Your doubt, your mess, your full picture, to their caption, their highlight, their selected moment. That's not a comparison. That's a collision between two entirely different things. The messy, real version of your life is not losing to the curated version of theirs. They have a messy, real version too. It's just not the one they showed you. Your sense of who you are deserves to be built on something more stable than what performs well online. It deserves to come from the inside, from what you actually think, feel, want, before you have checked, to see how it will land. Social media, they instill your identity, but it gives you a very loud, very persistent suggestion about who you should be and whether you are measuring up. You are allowed to turn that down, not forever, not completely, just enough to hear yourself think.